Sorry there. Sorry. So I said sorry. Sorry. Did I catch you off guard? I'm sorry. Didn't mean to. I kind of meant to. But I'm sorry. Welcome to Tickzon, where we try to turn our hindsight into your foresight. Welcome to the video. My name's Ugo, your name's Blessed, and I hope you're having a lovely day. Now today we're talking about how to apologize. Now it sounds so ubiquitous. I read the dictionary today and I didn't. Ubiquitous. It sounds one kind that we're out here talking about how to apologize or how to say sorry, but then it's not something that is I guess it kind of goes without saying just to say sorry. And sometimes even when we say okay, even if you think about it, sometimes you apologize without, when you go to apologize but you don't end up apologizing. So you walk up to someone and be like, hey, I just wanted to apologize for what I did to you yesterday. I hope we're good. You never apologized though. You said you wanted to apologize, but you never said that. You never said the apology. Oh, I've come to say sorry for what I did. Somehow that's the apology. That is not really an apology. You didn't even say sorry, because the number of times, even me, I'm thinking about it, like I'm gonna like, fam, I just came to say sorry, innit? I mean, you come to say sorry, or was the sorry that you came to drop? Like, you understand what I'm trying to say? The English in there is just bouncing around. But essentially, what I mean by how to apologize. So first of all, before I even talk about how to apologize, I understand that there's a notion out here about forgive and forget. But personally, I don't really think that is a wise thing. I don't think you should forgive and forget. Similarly, just how, you know, back in the day they would say sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt me, when in reality, words and, you know, writing, they make more damage than, you know, sticks and stones. It's almost like, you know, you can sign, you can speak, you can say something and send us to war, you know, as opposed to just, you know, getting to fisticuffs. So why do I say I'm all about forgiveness? And, you know, if you ever done something to me, I probably have forgiven you, because forgiveness is more for myself than it is for you. But, you know, but forget. You see, as we go through life, life is the best teacher, and experience is the best teacher. And so life is going to do a lot of things to you for you to understand the life you're in. And people are going to do a lot of things to you to also allow you to understand more about human behavior, understand the people around you, and understand how things go about, and understand how we interact with people. And so within all those nuggets of things that, you know, every good that somebody's done to you and every bad that somebody's done to you, every good and bad that life has thrown at you, the benefit of it is learning, is wisdom. And in all those situations, you learn from it. It's almost like that saying that they say, fool me once, shame on you; fool me twice, shame on me. Now, you're doing yourself a disservice if you forgive and forget, because ultimately you didn't learn from that situation. And so if you end up doing the same thing, you will end up getting the same results. So sometimes we find ourselves in situations where, you know, we've actually enabled a situation for somebody to do what's wrong, and so we didn't even acknowledge that situation. So we've forgiven that person, but we haven't changed the situation of how this came about, so it happens again. And you find yourself in a cycle of forgiveness, and you're trying to forget, but it keeps on compounding because nothing ever changed. So you're forgiving something that happened because of something, but nothing ever changed. So I'm not necessarily in the forgive and forget category of life. I'm more forgive, and in terms of forgetting, not necessarily forgetting, I learn from it. Forgive and learn, as opposed to forgive and forget. I'm not forgetting, I learn from it. And so I would implore you to do the same, because there's wisdom in understanding these things, especially in the sense of in interpersonal relationships. If you don't learn from its situation and learn how to deal with this person within, in terms of how you guys interact, in terms of how you facilitate things, how you work with each other, then you kind of flopped and kind of missed the bag in that, it missed the trick in that you just forgave and you forgot, and then felt that it's just going to sort itself out. No, it's not just going to sort itself out unless one of you or two of you change something about getting to that situation. Okay, so that's why I say I don't necessarily forgive and forget. I forgive and learn. You know, what am I forgetting for? I don't have amnesia or anything like that. And forgetting for me personally is doing yourself a disservice, because there's wisdom in learning from that and other situations that's happened. But how to apologize? So when you come to apologize, there's a couple of aspects that you need to understand that brings an apology full circle and helps us to take you seriously in what you're saying. So firstly, when you come to apologize, you know, the setting needs to be correct. You need to set the right tone. You need to you know, set it up correctly. Don't just hit them on a drive-by. We know there's a difference between, for me, telling you, listen, I'm sorry, and just be like, sorry. You know, there's a difference, and there's a different level of seriousness that's taken from it, or a different level of sincerity that's taken from what kind of sorry you deliver. Now, one is the setting, where and how you're going to say this sorry. Typically, I would just say, you know, it's easier if, especially depending on the seriousness of it, you say to the person face to face. I prefer face-to-face conversations if it's like anything serious, like an apology, or, you know, or very grand news, I suppose, or after that it's on the phone. But it has to be sincere in your tone, and you need to be, you know, somewhat direct. Two, you need to be able to understand why you are apologizing. So if you don't know what you're apologizing for, why are you apologizing? It's almost like, I remember when Kanye used to say, I'll never say anything that I'm going to apologize for. I mean, I used to say that before, but you know, Kanye be stealing my lines, all that kind of stuff. But if you don't understand why you are apologizing, what are you apologizing for? So first, next thing you need to do is you need to understand why you're apologizing. The next thing you need to do is understand what you're apologizing for. Why did it offend this individual? So you understood why you're apologizing. Now understand, you know, I punched you, and that's why I'm apologizing. Why did it offend this person that needed you to apologize? After understanding why, then the next thing is acknowledge your responsibility within this. Is, you know, when you come in there, a lot of people, when they come into apologies, they always want to make it a two-way thing. I always say it takes two to tango, but maybe it can only take one person to fuck it up. Like, you know, it takes two to tango, but only one person can fuck it up. But so a lot of times when people come to apologize, they always want to make it 50-50, and that kind of defeats the point of be taking accountability and acknowledgement. So the next part is about acknowledging, and then on top of the acknowledgement, taking accountability and talking about your responsibility. Don't come and say, hey, yo fam, I'm sorry for what I did to you, but you know what, you did this to me, that's the reason why I'm doing that. That's a non-apology at this point. You have not apologized, you've just done a non-apology. So setting, understand why. Understand you know, why you're apologizing, acknowledge, understand why this offended this person, and then take an acknowledgement and accountability of your role in that. Now, when you bring all this together, this is things you need to understand, but it's still how you need to deliver it to this individual when you're apologizing. And the next point of call is, what are you going to do differently? So when I say I forgive, but I forgive and learn as opposed to forgive and forget, because when you apologize, you understand now why this happened, why you offended this person, and you can acknowledge and take accountability of what you did to cause this situation. So now you need to also present, what are you going to do differently so that we don't get into this situation? And if you don't know what you need to do to change the situation, then you ask, hey, how could I do better in the future for us not to get to this situation again? So when you're apologizing, you need to be able to get the full picture of it and be sincere in it. And this might actually allow somebody to forget the situation, because now you're going to actually change what caused this situation to happen, and that means there won't ever have to be a reason why you bring this up again. So some people apologize and they wonder, why does this person still bring it up, whether it's in a relationship, friendship, or whatever? Why does this person keep bringing it up? Because you're still doing the same things that caused this situation in the first place, and hence nothing has changed. So this person is still low-key in a PTSD on what happened. So people can't necessarily move on from what you've done to them for you to need to apologize until you actually change the actions you did that led to you needed to apologize. So if it was something that broke trust, if you do anything that kind of, if your actions before was moving that made them break trust, then if you keep doing those same actions, it's going to continue reinforcing that the slam dunk of you hurting them again is going to come. If it's stealing, you broke that, you took their, every time they see you going up to their room, they think you're going to go take something. Like, you need to change the tactics. So you need to basically tell them, what am I going to do differently in order to make sure that this situation is not going to be there. Now look, the prerequisite for you first and foremost is to understand why. So the setting is important, but the in-between is the main point. And if you don't understand why, then just go and ask. Yeah? Just go and ask the person, what have I done to you, or how have I offended you, and make me understand why that offended you. Because most times people talk about people being very angry or very passive aggressive, or people very emotional, or all these kind of things. They don't come out from nowhere. Typically, people who are very angry are just people who have unrequited feelings that have been dismissed and not listened to. People who are emotional, similar thing. People, there's a reason why they're there. Nobody really woke up or was born coming out angry. You don't wake up angry unless there's a reason. And so if you're contributing to that reason, you need to understand, and then you need to be able to take accountability. And I don't really care your age, your size, your whatever. Take the accountability and do something about it. So at this juncture, let me apologize to you. I'm really sorry for having jumped on you, boo, and scared you. I understand that you're kind of a bit jumpy. You weren't really expecting it. And unfortunately, I didn't take those feelings into account, and I didn't want to give you a jump scare, and it's not like you have hiccups anyway. So I'm going to endeavor to make sure that, I don't scare you like that or give you any jump scares again in the future. And hopefully we don't have to have a repeat of this situation. So hopefully you can accept my apology, and I'll strive to do better. So that was a good example. I'm still probably going to scare you guys in the future. If I did get any of you, I doubt I did. It's one of them ones that you probably used to the thing now, all that kind of good stuff. But ultimately, we're just talking about how to apologize, how to ask for forgiveness, and ultimately solidify the forgiveness. If you end up asking for somebody to forgive you and end up repeating that more than once, you're not necessarily, the next time the person's forgiving you, it's still kind of like a lukewarm forgiveness, and then you're going to have to do more hoops. And again, similar to a video we did in the past, it comes down to your integrity, it comes down to how people see you, and it comes down to whether people are going to trust you in any sense. So as opposed to trying to forgive you 7 times over 7 times over 7 times, they'll probably just avoid you and let you go, because forgiveness is long, it's stressful, but understand that forgiveness is for yourself. And again, when you're asking for apology, understand you are not entitled to any forgiveness. Now, obviously, I encourage people to forgive more for themselves than the other person, because for me, it frees off. I remember this song, but basically, holding a grudge is like letting somebody live in your head rent free. And so, but again, understand that if you do apologize and you've taken that big step to acknowledge, understand why it hurt this person, set the scene correctly. You didn't just do a drive-by, I'm sorry, and also took accountability, and also said what you're going to change in order to not repeat that situation from happening, if there needs to be something changed anyway. But that acknowledges the person's feelings and acknowledges the person's state, and you're probably more likely to get somebody who completely is just wooed by your change of character within that situation. But again, you're still not entitled to the forgiveness. If the person so deems that what you've done to them has hurt them, you can't dictate that they should have forgiven you by now or whatnot. Now, so when you go into there, similarly like going to, ask somebody on a date or move to somebody or ask for a job or whatever, rejection could be there. So it's actually within that person's right to not forgive you. But ultimately, at the point that you've asked for forgiveness and you've changed, and even if the person doesn't take it, still do the change. And then in time, maybe that person will forgive you, but at that point in time, it's out of your hands, and you let that person use their time to heal on their terms, as opposed to, because you apologize, they need to forgive you and be on your terms. No, it's not how things work. Yeah, we're dealing with human beings here. So hopefully this has helped you to understand how to apologize more effectively, and understand the role that you play, as opposed to just saying sorry. What are you going to change? Why are you saying sorry? Have you seen the state of my body? Anyway, Sha, my name's been Ugo. Your name's been blessed. Don't forget to invest in yourself, your health, and your wealth. Wow, that's bad. Oh well, Sha. No, sorry. I didn't mean it. Hit the like button, subscribe, and yeah, comment and let me know if this helps in any way, shape, or form. Hopefully it does. But yeah, hopefully you don't have to do a lot of things to apologize. But Sha, you're going to have to apologize at some point because we're all wrong at some point. And sometimes you just need to apologize because you need to apologize. You don't even necessarily need to be wrong. Sometimes you're just peaceful. Just having peace is simple. Anyway, Sha, take care. Hope you're enjoying the heat, even though the sun is not here right now. But take care.